because I think the real question starts at number 6. If it was up to you, Ziggy, if you were voting on this, who would you put at number 6?
Jared Goff. Someone actually put Jared Goff at 5 who voted on this, which big respect to that guy. I don't have him quite that level. I think that Dak Prescott, a lot of people seem to think that he's still an athletic quarterback. Dak Prescott was truly underrated. His athleticism was undervalued when he was a younger quarterback. But this is a guy who has not been able to effectively move for some time, and you can see it in his rushing numbers, right? Dak Prescott, over the past 3 seasons combined, hasn't even put up 600 rushing yards. He's just not there. So you ask me, okay, Dak Prescott can't run. He can pass the ball pretty well. Who would I rather have in the pocket, Dak Prescott or Jared Goff? I'm taking Jared Goff over him. It's that simple. Jared Goff has played at a higher level passing from the pocket the last couple of years. And when you look at how much Goff has produced and what he's been able to do, I'm taking him higher than Drake May. I'm taking him higher than Justin Herbert. Jared Goff would be my 6. I really think Jared Goff does not get enough respect in the NFL.
Lions fans right now, Ziggy, are standing up and applauding. They've been begging for some praise for him for a long time. I do like Jared Goff a lot. I had him when we did our quarterback rankings come in at number 11. So
yeah, well, you hate effective quarterbacks. You hate him and you hate Brock Purdy. You say, oh, quarterback that's effective rather than flashy and gets the ball on target where it needs to be. I hate that. I want my guy to run around for 20 yards and throw an incompletion.
Only 4 QBs have more 4,500-yard passing seasons than the 5 Jared Goff has. Breeze, Brady, Matt Ryan, Peyton Manning. Not bad company right there. No, I think Jared, this is what people don't get. You have someone ranked as the 11th best quarterback in football. I mean, that's a really good player, guys. Like I think Jared Goff is awesome. He's come into Detroit and he's been nothing short of fantastic since that trade. Like I'm not. It's not dirt on Jared Goff to say he's not. Sorry, Ziggy has him the 6th best quarterback in football. Yeah, he's not the 6th best quarterback in football. If we're drafting quarterbacks and for next season, I have Justin Herbert at 6. I'd put Herbert there. Can you imagine Justin Herbert in that Lions offense? I think he'd also be great.
Yeah, it's easy to say.
It is easy to say, and you're right about that. That if you're a Goff supporter, and this is making it sound like I'm a Goff hater, I'm not.
Because you are
he's really good. No, I just don't have him ranked in the elite category of guys that I would take.
You don't have him ranked in the very good category. You have him ranked in the barely above average.
I have him as like a tier 3 quarterback or tier 2 if you want
11
to
is barely above average.
That's not barely above average. If you 15, 14, 13, or 16, that's barely above average, right? Well, 16 would be average,
16
wouldn't it?
Barely above average.
16.
This guy.
16
this
would.
Guy.
I mean, between 16 and 17, you'd have average. 16 would be slightly above average, but I would have had Herbert at 6. Again, if you want to complain about his lack of playoff success, I totally get it. But I do think that given what he had last season, he played some really good football up until that playoff game. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting because actually I had the exact same top 10 when we did our quarterback rankings, the players, but I had Jared Goff out and Jordan Love in. And I'd guess Jordan Love came in at 11 on this list. I'm not sure. He was anywhere from 11 to 13.
Jeremy Fowler said when the voting came in, he was at 13.
13. Okay. What do you think of Love? Because PFF, we talked about the PFF ranking that they came out with just today. We're recording on the 13th. Can I read you the top 10 for that?
Yeah.
Josh Allen 1, Joe Burrow 2, Lamar 3, Mahomes 4, Stafford 5. So same top 5, just a different order. 6, Jordan Love. 7, Herbert. 8, Dak. 9, Drake May. 10, Brock Purdy. And then it went Lawrence 11, Daniels 12, Caleb Williams 13. So Jordan Love there goes from 13 in the ESPN ranking to 6 in the PFF ranking. Which one do you think is a more appropriate Jordan Love ranking?
Well, I'll tell you where I have Jordan Love. I have Jordan Love at 7.
Same. I do as well.
I'll give you the straightforward reason why.
Wait. Before you go, because I want to hear this. There's going to be a lot of people a lot of Packers fans who are happy about this. Every other NFC North fan that we have who listens is probably furious. So
I think Lions fans are probably still pretty happy with me.
I think they're still really happy with you about Goff. The people who are unhappy are the Bears fans right now. So
yeah,
let's hear your defense of Jordan Love at 7, which I also have him there.
Everyone agrees Justin Herbert's a top 10 quarterback. And people say last year, the offensive line struggled. So in 16 games, we can forgive him for only throwing for 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Well, Jordan Love has an offensive line that's worse to start with and suffers from more injuries. But when he throws for 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, and half as many interceptions, people say, look, he's a bum. When he leads game-winning drive after game-winning drive and his defense lets him down, he's a bum. Jordan Love, whenever the Packers needed a drive last year, more or less, outside of the second half of the Bears playoff game, which I admit was a disaster, Jordan Love stepped up and got it done. And it was the defense and offensive line and drops letting him down. If you watched the Packers last year, you saw that. Jordan Love still throws one of the most accurate balls in the NFL. This is why Jordan Love completed 10% more of his passes than Caleb Williams. Jordan Love, when he gets an opportunity, can still throw a deep ball, even if the Packers don't dial it up very often. Even when there's not a run game, it is not a problem. Like, Jordan Love has gotten it done. And I know the postseason results haven't been there, and he's won 9 games as a starter all of his years, and people want more out of him. But if you're going to make excuses for these other quarterbacks, and I think some of these excuses are fair, I want to hear the same credit given to Jordan Love, who, if you actually go back and watch the tape, look at how he manages the offense, look at his athleticism, is consistently one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, I can't put him higher until he proves a little bit more in the win total or in the postseason column. I totally get that. But Jordan Love, to me, has been the same player since his second half of 2023. A very strong quarterback who usually gets it done when the team needs him.
Yeah. If you want to go by some of the metrics, right, on Jordan Love, which I don't usually dive too deep into that, but 5th in passer rating, 6th in touchdown to interception ratio, 5th in completion percentage over expectation, 2nd in EPA per drop back, 6th in adjusted completion percentage. And that's the adjusted completion percentage that turns drops into completions, ignores throwaways. So by all the metrics, Jordan Love should be a top 6 or top 7 quarterback in the league. And that is where I have him too. What's super interesting about the NFL right now is, assuming, right, Stafford maybe we're in his last year or last 2 years, like that 5th spot has been the one that's kind of up for grabs. And maybe if Stafford keeps playing for 2 years, he just holds on to that. But if he does take a step back as he's getting older here, I think Herbert, Love, May, Dak, Caleb, Jaden Daniels at one point was there. Jalen Hurts in some people's eyes was there at one point. Could Trevor Lawrence take the jump up? I don't like people love Goff. Goff, I guess you could throw him in there.
Did Jared Goff shoot your dog? Oh, I guess we can put the guy throwing one of the most efficient footballs in the NFL up there. I guess. Let's throw in Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. Yeah, well, sure, whatever. They get to be in.
Sure. I think it's more likely that one of those guys takes another leap up, where Jared Goff, I think, is kind of in that 8 to 12 range in all likelihood. But yeah, sure, Goff can be in there. The level right now of guys who could move into that number, or the number of guys who could move into that number 5 spot, is probably as high as it's ever been in the National Football League. But yeah, I think Jordan Love gets disrespected pretty often. And this is not pandering or anything like that. You got to remember, guys, I had a horrible time at that Packer Viking game as Packer fans are screaming down our necks that how great Green Bay is and the Vikings suck. I think Jordan Love deserves a little bit more respect in those rankings. He came in pretty low in the top 100 in the 70s, but this guy, I think you feel pretty great about him if you're a Packer fan right now, and more often than not, he's getting the job done. So,
look, people are going to accuse me of being a Bears hater. I have Caleb Williams at 11. I have one lower than this ESPN list. And if Caleb Williams takes the steps forward that I think he can, he will be in my top 10 next year. It's just hard for me to put the guy who led the NFL in off target rate, who led the NFL in lowest completion percentage, just about among guys who actually started and played a lot of games, and say already this guy is a top 10 quarterback. He is more than just like a generic top 10 promise. I like him a lot more than Jaden Daniels and Sam Darnold to really step up and become elite guys. But I just want to see one more season from him. And I think if as a Bears fan, you can't acknowledge why someone might think that. I think you're a little too excited about what we saw last year. We saw a lot of great things from him last year. And again, I expect Caleb Williams to become a great quarterback, but he hasn't done it yet. And the guys we're putting ahead of him have.
I actually had him at 10. I have Caleb at 10.
I don't think 10's crazy. I just like Drake May and Dak Prescott and Justin Herbert a little bit more.
Yeah, I had all those guys above him as well.
Yeah, you just hate Jared Goff, I guess.
I think you could. I think you can have him at 10 based on last season alone. Like you don't need to have any, because everyone always mentions potential with Caleb, and that when you factor in potential of like where you want a guy, you might even put him higher on the list. But with all the comebacks and the way we saw him trending upward towards the end of the season, yeah, I thought Caleb played some really good football and was a much different quarterback at the end of last year from the guy we saw Monday Night Football making a bunch of mistakes against the Vikings in week 1. What they used as the tiebreaker between Caleb, Love, Darnold, and Daniels was who's the most difficult to prepare for. And Caleb's a guy that, when he's on, him and Mahomes are the guys that can make some plays that no one else in the league can. Even plays that maybe Josh Allen can't make. Like that's how uniquely gifted this guy is. I have no problem with him at 10. I agree with him at 10.